guys ready to do this?
Oh man, it's another bunch of nerds talking about Star Wars.
We have opinions! Woo!
And it's divisive.
To the internet. And like, only the internet.
Well, I mean, you know the rule of the internet. Basically take the least sarcastic comment and then multiply that by an exponent of itself. So you just get like this terrible awfulness.
Algebraic! Anyway.
Totally wrong this!
So, yeah, this is our view of Star Wars. And by the way, for people watching on the Feet playlist, hi. Yeah, that's why Happy Death Day, guys, make use as it did.
I told you! I told you because I didn't wear socks!
There you go, here's these cookies.
We're gonna weed people just to watch the ads. So, we're remarkably okay with it, just watch the ads. Anyway, so...
Let's see.
So let's start, we'll say our general thoughts for starters. Avoid spoilers for at least like the first 10 minutes.
We'll try.
Then we'll have our own soapboxes. I know we kind of all have our...
I mean, if you're watching this review without...
Yeah, let's just be fair, though.
Well, I'm just saying, though, but if you're watching the review without watching the movie, you know, that is sort of your fault.
Yeah, let's just do it. My God, just listen to what I have to say, God damn it.
I'll still do it, it's fine.
Alright, so, I guess I'll start. I thought it was great. I really liked it. Is it flawed? Absolutely. There's a lot of common consensus, like, complaints in the movie, and for the most part, I agree with most of them. There's a few I think are being a little too nitpicky, but we'll get into that when we talk more about spoilers. But overall, I thought the characters, it really boils down to, like, I still love the characters. I still want to see, I want to see them do stuff. I thought they did some interesting things with the Star Wars formula. I like the general themes of what they're clearly going for, and it makes me excited to see what they're going to do next. General thoughts right there, Grant. I know you're probably more toned down.
I'm inclined to agree. It's like, it's honestly like the movie got off to a really wonky start for me.
I wouldn't say wonky, but yeah, I will say like the second half is much better than the first half.
Yeah. Because the movie did kind of go on longer than it should have a little bit, but I will admit it's like I said, I felt like thankfully the payoff was definitely...
Yeah, but it kind of goes back to Rogue One, the Rogue One effect, where it's like the payoff kind of made stuff with the other issues I had. To the point where it was kind of like, I was watching it, was like, alright, I'm not loving it so far, but I'm also like, I want to know where this is going. And then I saw where it went, so I was like, okay, I'm on board.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead, Howard.
Overall, I'll say that I enjoyed it more than the issues that I had that bothered me. There were more things about it that I enjoyed than I did not enjoy.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's this great theme, and then they brought back the John Williams motifs. He did the music, so no offense, Michael Giacchino, whatever.
You know more than I would.
Well, he did Rogue One, the music. So it's like my thing with Rogue One that bothered me was like he was trying hard not to emulate John Williams. But while still having to emulate John Williams.
That's actually honestly overall criticism of the movie in general, really.
But I mean, this time around, there's a great theme. The cinematography was great for all of the fighting.
This movie's gorgeous.
It's a great movie. And it's well choreographed, and I enjoyed.
And it actually
most of the character development.
We'll get to that.
Well,
yeah.
And there's a few logical issues, and that bothered me as much as my feelings about Pacific Rim, but we won't go there.
I still love Pacific Rim. You're just fucking wrong.
That is one of my favorite dumb movies.
It's so dumb, but I love it.
When was the last time you stared at Gypsy Danger's heart without lead shielding?
Anyway. It's funny you should mention that, because that same attitude is kind of what issues I have with the fan base for Star Wars right now. So, on that note...
Well, anyway, so it's logical things similar to that.
Yeah.
And like, here's the thing. I know this movie's getting a lot of crap right now by a lot of the super hardcore fan base. Some of it is legitimate. Like, I will give credit where credit's deserved. A lot of the major complaints I've heard, I more or less agree with. And I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about like, okay, why does Justice League get a pass, but this one gets so much shit?
Yeah.
And that was bugging me. I was like, okay, how can I say what I'm going to say without sounding like a total hypocrite for hating on Justice League as much as I did? And I realized it came down to kind of what people like about Justice League. It came down to how much I liked the characters. And it wasn't like Justice League where I felt like they were shoved down my throat. They were loosely defined. I didn't really get to know them that well. I like not Rogue One. In this movie, I know a majority of these characters pretty well, and then the ones they introduce, you can get the vibe of who they are pretty fast.
Yeah.
And they're good characters, and they're likable characters, and you want to know what happens to them.
And even the characters that they introduce, like, you only get like a very quick glimpse of like who they were related to, because we're talking about X who did Y, and then it's X's Z relative.
Yeah, I will say I will
say
say I did appreciate that even some of these like smaller characters, like I don't know how they did, but they gave a little bit of that spark and they kind of kept you intrigued by them. Like if they're only there for like a couple minutes.
And it's not perfect. There are some characters who get the shaft, literally or figuratively. We'll get to that one.
must resist phallic jokes.
So, it's so hard to talk about this without going into spoilers. So, if you haven't seen the movie already, go see it, form your own opinion.
Yeah, and turn this review off right now.
Yeah, so like right now, like we have to talk about spoilers.
It's not even 5 minutes, but we tried.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I think we get the general point across. So here's some things like I'm not going to disagree with the fans at all. I'm not going to defend Super Leia.
No. It would be Princess Leia Christ.
No, not really, because even Jesus didn't go da 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 da.
Wasn't sometimes like someone described it as like Mary Poppins Leia? I think.
Yeah, Mary Poppins, y'all.
And supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Oh my God, we need to put that song with that
Those
clip.
were fireworks. Those were Star Destroyers blowing up.
So like, I'm not gonna defend that. I see where people are coming from on Snoke's death, although I don't necessarily agree, because, guys, he's not that interesting of a character to begin with.
There was nothing, well, okay, so adding on to that point, it's like, Snoke was in the first film for exactly, 12 minutes?
At most.
We have 5 if we're lucky.
Yeah.
So it's like everything around Snoke was all hyped up by the fan base.
Yeah. And I think the problem was, which I do understand, is everybody wanted a new Palpatine, and he kind of just got...
But that's kind of the problem with Snoke, too, is he was just a new Palpatine.
Yeah.
And maybe they could have fleshed him out more, but at the same time, I don't really blame the director for being like, no, we're not doing this, and just killing him off and focus on more interesting characters.
Yeah, I actually like the fact that he was killed off, but my thing that bothered me with Snoke is, there was nothing for me to even, latch on to stuff. So I was like, oh, cool.
I mean,
it's like, they Count Dooku'd him.
Yeah.
There was no significance to him at all.
And, here's the thing that cracked me up, and I told you this, and as the reaction I heard from people behind me as I was leaving the theater perfectly sums up what, general audience versus hardcore Star Wars fans are kind of going at this point. Is, I only heard one sentence from a person behind me, and he immediately told me everything else I need to know about that conversation. As we're walking down, all I hear is one guy going behind me going, Episode 3 was never good! And that instantly told me everything I need to know about that conversation. And honestly, it's just a great reflection of how the internet's responding to this right now. In that, there's a part of me, I'm reading some of the comments, and some of them are absolutely ridiculous. Some of them have valid points, but I was you are being such nitpicky shitheads about this. And, the ones that kill me, the one who goes this killed Star Wars! This isn't how Luke Skywalker would act. Why not?
He's had 40 years.
Yeah,
To be fair, let's actually analyze how inconsistent Luke acts in the first movie.
Before you get to that point, I want to further point, like, as I'm like, this is worse than episode 1, that one was like, alright, fuck you. But like, there's that part of me that makes you want to go like, oh, hey guys, you got a little something in your face, let me see that. Oh, let me see. Oh, see those rose-tinted glasses, that nostalgia? Look, you can see everything so clearly now! Episode 1 was garbage! This actually has acting and competence!
Yeah, it's like, there are moments where I feel like some of these moments also did kind of like rob certain instances of dignity. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I laughed my ass off with what happened with Luke and the lightsaber, but at the same time, it's just like, wait! What was with the build-up then?
I kind of like that though. I actually thought that was brilliant.
It was astral projection, or
no, like when he just grabs the lightsaber and just chucks it over his shoulder.
Oh no, that's just the whole point of that is just comedy.
Yeah, no, it was funny. No, it's funny, but it kind of robbed the emotional gravitas that it had before.
No, I kind of like that though because it sets the tone. It sets the tone like what interaction who he is now, and like
it literally Grant, that scene is a literal symbolic act of I am the Jedi behind the ideology of the Jedi are literally behind me.
No, I get that. It's just I don't know. I felt like.
But I mean, think about it this way, right? The whole like end of episode 7 is that she's handing him the lightsaber, and basically that act just takes that scene off of its pedestal with the fans, and it's just supposed to be like. Yeah, this is. I don't give a fuck.
And I kind of like that.
It's like, I'm not saying, like I said, I laughed, but at the same time, in the back of my head, it's like, wow, I don't know, it's just, that was such a huge 180, like, I'm not sure how I feel about it either, and that was one of my issues that I had with this movie was, it felt like there's it did a lot of that awkward, forced humor that from Force
I didn't
Awakens.
think it was forced.
Okay, sorry, not forced.
Some of it felt a little forced. Like, when BB-8 takes over ATST and they just do that, like, corgi tilt with the head.
Or also when Poe Dameron is talking with General Ginger.
I actually like that scene.
I love how they treated him as the literal red-headed stepchild.
At the same time, it's just like, it's like, why are you shooting him? It's like, it reminds.
Well, there's this thing between like about acknowledging your pride and getting over your personal vanity. That's what happens when you're First Order, though. You're just so up your own anus about your own pride and your own vanity.
You just want to monologue.
Yeah, I know.
When it boiled down to I liked it personally.
It's probably like an SNL skit where he's like General Hux and is like General's Quarter or whatever, and he's like, I've spent like 30 minutes writing this speech to end the rebellion, and they just do like a Verizon joke.
Yeah. And I think that's why. I think it's like the fact that it's kind of rushed right into. I mean, to be fair, compared to Force Awakens, I'm glad that it didn't follow a super serious moment.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad they just didn't do another Battle of Hoth till the end.
Yeah.
That was still a pretty good scene.
It was good, but it's just like, I mean. I'm glad they didn't just be like, okay, so we played it safe with 7 guys, so we'll just play it safe with 8.
And now here's the thing though, like, and this is something another critic I watched point out too, where it's like, it's not just repeating Empire though. It's not trying to be Empire.
Yeah.
It's taking some stuff Empire did and like, okay, here's the next natural progression of that.
Yeah.
It's not like Force Awakens, we're just repeating the same beat step for step.
Which I will also acknowledge, and I'm glad that they did.
And in a way, like Empire Strikes Back, it was very clear that the Empire had the advantage. At this point, this is just sort of like both sides are both torn down. They're both at their wits' end. They're both.
No, not really. The First Order is doing pretty well. At this point, they lost the entire universe.
They lost their supreme leader.
Oh, you mean towards the end?
Yeah. Oh no, I mean I think just the overall loss from both sides.
Okay, you're talking about towards the very end though.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant like at the beginning.
No, at the beginning it's very clear they're getting their asses whipped. But the resources spent to go after basically like 20 people now.
And like other things, I will not defend. And like these are just I'm getting the negatives out of the way, just kind of now. So I
What have you heard? I haven't read anything on the internet.
Snoke's death is the big one. A lot of people have the way with the way Luke was portrayed, which I think was I was perfectly fine with.
I was fine with it too.
I think it makes.
I thought it was really good.
It's more consistent in how he acts in Episode 4.
And like there was a lot of cases where people were just saying like, well, if the Force Awakens, he said like he left to find the first Jedi Order. It's like. Maybe that's just what he told people, so they leave him the fuck alone.
Yeah, he's old man Luke. He goes around with like 100-foot poles stabbing fish.
And like at the same time, like if you want to poke holes in the plot, you could. There's a lot of plot holes in here. I'm not gonna pretend that.
But like
exist.
seriously, let's go over how inconsistently.
Okay, you clearly really want to talk about this.
Yes, I want to talk about this. Okay, great. So I'm gonna join the Empire to become a pilot. Oh shit, they killed my family. Well, I guess.
No, he never said when to join the Empire.
He wanted to join the Academy. He wanted to join the Academy so he could be a pilot like his father.
They never say which academy, and besides, I think he said he also said he actually supported the rebellion in the beginning.
The rebels have an academy. There's a rebel academy. Does that make logical sense? Well,
There's a Jedi Academy.
for piloting? Never mind.
I'm just saying there's a video game called Jedi Academy. I'm being a smartass.
You failed.
I'm gonna hang out with Obi-Wan, and then he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, you may or may not have Force powers." Well, I'm joining this religion, guys. Does you see what I'm saying? He's not.
I don't know. Like Luke did a pretty good arc overall. And according to the internet, by the way, he did want to join the Imperial Academy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See how like many flip-flops.
Yeah, well, when your family gets killed, that's a pretty good reason to want to flip-flop.
That's a good reason, but like the whole like, oh, my father was a Jedi Knight, so maybe I can be too. I'm just gonna join in on this religion that I just found out about.
Which they also called him on about in the movie as well. Han did that.
Yeah,
True.
It's so inconsistent. Even Han Solo had to point
And
it
like,
out.
here's the thing. Like, the first 3 movies are riddled with plot holes too.
Yeah.
So like to say,
Great shot first, guys.
Oh, because that so matters. That so matters. But what was I gonna say? But some people just like the first 3 movies on such a ridiculously high pedestal. Like it's like a series of 3 perfect movies, and nothing will ever match up. It's like watch them again. I'm not saying they aren't great movies, but to say they're perfect, come on.
I mean, six was starting to like look a little.
Yeah, that
patchy.
one we can definitely agree that it's.
But anyway,
And again,
it's good.
My
But
point being is that like I feel like Luke acted more consistently in a way, considering what he's been through.
Yeah, and I agree with that because I mean given everything that's happened, his stuff is justified.
Yeah, and like I thought they did a really good job of explaining where he's coming from. And Mark Hamill just owns being just a sarcastic asshole with some of the best lines in the movie. And even then, just the look on his face when he drinks like the milk from like the sea cows, just like that, just this disgruntled, angry old man look of like this bitch won't leave me alone.
Or even some, I don't know. It's not even the best lines. He just had some of the best like moves, like this.
Yeah.
The best time.
But he has a good arc through the movie, and everyone here, like Rey, has a good arc.
Yeah.
And Adam Driver, my God, so much better here. Before we get to that, like I'm trying to think, and we gotta talk before we get to the positives. I do need to talk about the one plot hole I can't get past.
Oh, me too, right?
Yeah, you and I were talking about this because why didn't the girl just tell Poe what the plan was? that one's the one that bugs me.
That logic bothers me just as much as the hamster ball ride from Jurassic World. Like, it bothers me. It's a 10-second sentence where you just go and be like, Poe, you gotta chill out, bro. We're gonna go to the old rebel base. And we're gonna.
I know.
And like literally,
I know.
at least a third of the movie could have been cut if it would not have happened if she just used her words.
And he could have communicated back. Okay, but in case that doesn't work, here's my really reckless backup plan. We're gonna see if we can fuck with them.
But to be
while
fair,
we try to ensure I escape. Although to be fair, yes.
I will also. This is one of the things I did like about that whole wild goose chase.
Mm-hmm.
Was that it did come back to bite them in the ass.
Yeah.
Hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the case
I was like, yes! Consequences! Yeah!
Yeah, it wasn't just a happy-go-lucky side adventure. It was a happy-go-lucky side adventure that not only brought no results, it actually made things worse.
Yeah, it's like, oh, great, now they know what the backup plan is.
Because of Benicio del Toro, that bastard.
Seriously, like, they tried to execute a plan, and then they didn't even commit to the plan, and then they just grabbed the first guy that could have been...
Wait a minute.
What?
Although I just realized something. How the hell did Benicio del Toro know that they were doing that side thing where they're all flying off into the other planet?
Because he heard it on the walkie-talkies that when Poe was talking to Finn.
Right. Because I was like, what? Because I was trying to remember when they had a chance to talk. Because I thought that whole cloaking thing didn't get revealed until afterwards. Because remember, he didn't find out about. Oh no.
Even when they didn't know about the cloaking thing, he still knew they were flying away.
You're right.
Yeah,
Never mind.
Even on the way back, they could have like filled them in on the plan.
Yeah.
And then
you're right. Never mind.
They had this whole thing, and here's where I'm actually kind of wondering. Like they're like, oh yeah, look for the asshole with the flower brooch, right? Was that the same guy? It wasn't the same guy, right? Yeah, they just grabbed the first asshole in prison.
To be fair, that same asshole is Benicio del Toro.
But I'm still saying, like, it's just like, oh yeah, he can do the job maybe. But he's trustworthy because we picked him up in jail, and he's a rebel like us.
Now that's a case where it's like, that's another case like, look, that one I get, like, if the entire middle act, all the Finn and Rose, and while I liked both those characters, like, yeah, a lot of that, you didn't really need it, and like, it's all there because of a plot hole, and like, if that bothered you where it kind of runs me for, I can totally understand that. I think that's perfectly fair. A lot of the other ones about another comic plan. I'm looking at the complaints now, so we can address them one by one. Because I'm like, some of these like, okay, some of these were found. Other ones like, who fucking cares? Rey's parents reveal.
I thought that was fine.
I really liked that. Actually,
it was better. Like I talked about it when 7 came out before I started doing this with you guys. But I was just like, yeah, if she's just another Skywalker descendant, it's just like, oh, we're fucking great.
And like which also has what this movie's trying, like you guys mentioned, it's trying to buck a lot of trends and tropes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like the fact that it does make these risks, even if they don't always fully work out 100%.
It's still a ballsy move for Star Wars to take.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that fact too. I like that like even though for all the big, it's kind of like the lightsaber thrown on the shoulder. I kind of like that it was deliberately anticlimactic.
Yeah.
And to me, that feels more like, it's still like space opera, but it feels more realistic in that way, if that makes sense.
Right.
Instead of being like, you are descended from, I don't know, Yoda fucked a hooker one time. I don't or something like that.
Rude. Yoda would never fuck a hooker. That would be Yoda's hooker fucker.
Yoda's hooker fucker?
Yeah. He pays someone so he can watch, I don't know.
Now I got that image in my head.
Beating the staff.
Get under there. I'm trying to, or you're not. There is no trying.
But it's just better that Rey has nothing to do with.
Again, it comes back from coming from nothing to great things.
But it's also part of the overall this overall theme of like rebirth.
Yeah.
Right. Like to come from nothing and to like. Yeah.
And in a way that does make her kind of like the proverbial Skywalker.
Yeah, in a way, and I like that fact that
Anakin came from basically nothing.
Well, unless you count the Virgin Mary thing, but Space Jesus. Anyway, but
episode 1, 2, and 3 was never good,
and it never happened.
And I think it ties into her character too, and that like a lot of what she's hoping to find or what she'll want to get, it's just going to lead to disappointment.
Yeah.
And that's kind of an overall theme of the two, because like again, what happens to Mark Hamill? He's Luke Skywalker. He's not quite what she expected him to be, and like what she expected to happen with Kylo Ren didn't really go the way she thought it would. A lot of it is kind of realizing her limitations, and that just because she has all these powers, that she's naturally very gifted, doesn't mean she could just coast on that and everything's going to work out her way.
Yeah.
So I thought a lot of stuff was really well played.
Yeah, life's more complicated in a space galactic space war.
Yeah.
With telekinetic powers.
So other than that, the other complaints, those are the major complaints. Just a bunch of tiny ones, Phasma's kind of wasted again in this movie.
Yeah, Phasma's death is to resolve.
I'm not convinced she's dead, honestly.
Neither am I.
I'm not surprised they brought her back in the third
But
movie.
it's like, thankfully, she at least did do more than either her last movie or Boba Fett.
But
yeah.
Phasma's death is supposed to resolve Finn with his connection to the First Order. It's just like I'm throwing away my connection and I'm being reborn as Rebel
He
Scout.
literally threw it away into a trash compactor in the last movie!
No,
Oh.
Chewie did.
No, because remember there was like, what do we do? The trash compactor. He's like,
Well, yeah,
He was there for
this
it.
one's more badass, I would say.
yeah. No, I agree. But I'm just saying that he literally did that and probably
But it's the overall theme of
Yeah.
Rebirth. Like, Kylo's just not doing it right.
Speaking of Kylo, let's talk about that, because I loved the way they approached Kylo Ren in comparison to The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it, and I realized why it works so well here and it didn't in The Force Awakens, is because in The Force Awakens, you're supposed to legitimately take him as a badass threat. But because he's such a whiny little emo for most of the movie, he never really comes off that way. So we're just supposed to take the movie's word for it, and it doesn't work that way. Here, I don't think you're supposed to find him badass.
No, I mean, they actually did a good job making him vulnerable.
Well, it's vulnerable, and it's more like...
And it also explains partially why he got his ass kicked in the end as well.
Yeah, and I love that they address that stuff too. But it's more like, I think they want you to see him as kind of pathetic.
Yeah.
And I don't think they ever want you to think anything else, because he's even like towards the end, General Ginger is clearly so fed up with his shit. Who I'm also wondering who might be a Sith Lord, but
Someone mentioned that they were pretty sure it was a gun.
I don't know, it could be. But
Wait, what? About gun?
You know when...
but why would he pull out a gun?
Because he wanted to shoot him in the
He wanted
head.
to shoot him in the back.
Because...
It worked in episode 3, guys!
But yeah, because
Episode 3 was never good.
But yeah, he basically wanted to shoot him while he was down because
Alright.
he didn't want to deal with his shit anymore.
I don't blame him.
Long live the Supreme Leader.
But yeah,
But what a twist that would be! Like General Ginger's the Sith Lord.
but
the
like
entire
you
time.
have these like two sides nowadays with this movie where you have Kylo Ren, who's just all up in this like glorification of like getting rid of the past, and like he's up his own ass about his own vanity and how he wants to rule the galaxy and all that, and everybody else is just sort of like, oh yeah, well having that mentality is bad. We shouldn't have it, so we're moving on.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, nothing.
Okay. It's like, I think it's also kind of ironic in his character too, because he says he wants to get burned the past, but at the same time he's also obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's just having a damn tantrum.
Yeah.
Well, especially towards the end when Luke shows up in his ghostly form, and a lot of people are like, "Well, how couldn't Kylo Ren tell if he was like a Force projection?" It's like, why would he be looking for that? Because again, he's so pissed off, he's not thinking. So why would he notice?
Well,
Yeah.
one, like, I'm assuming that Kylo would be able to just sense the massive, maybe blob of force.
but at the same time, he's also so pissed off, he's not thinking clearly.
Yeah, no, he's
saying that
fully...
he's saying that because you're able to sense that Force entity, it's not going to matter if he's physically there or not.
He just senses
yeah.
the force.
Yeah,
And
that's a good point too.
And it's like Luke just concentrated a massive amount of force at Kylo Ren to, like, do awesome shit. And
Yeah.
then at the end, he's like, later, kid.
Yeah, they're like, fuck you. But no, like, I really like the direction they took with that character. I think they gave him Adam Driver a lot more meat to chew on.
Yeah.
And I love how they developed the relationship with Rey. I thought that was very clever. I thought that was very smart. And it just added so much substance to their relationship, especially going into the third movie, where I'm assuming Kylo Ren will be like the official big bad guy,
Yeah.
unless we have a twist of General Ginger, which I'm not convinced will happen.
Yeah.
Probably not, but you would
Was
see it coming.
General Ginger in the first movie?
Yeah, he was in the first movie. Yeah.
I don't remember.
But
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
But like even towards the end, I don't think Aaron wants you to think he's not just basically a boy trying to play the powerful leader.
Yeah.
When he's really, really not. So that's like the big difference in this movie and The Force Awakens, in that The Force Awakens wants you to think that, this one doesn't.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it works a lot better, in my opinion.
Yeah, Kylo's just hurt.
Yeah, again, he's just an angry child. Pretty
In
much.
like many senses of the word, he's hurt emotionally, physically.
Oh yeah, it's got the sexy scar. It's like, okay, yeah, whatever. But yeah, and like,
can you put on like a cowl or something?
he's pretty good looking. I give him credit.
No, that was one of the lines.
No,
Yeah, I know. I was thinking back to that scene though.
Yeah, and then Rey's like,
They're like, do not want. But yeah, so all that stuff was really good. Again, let's talk about Mark Hamill for a little bit, kind of what they did with that. I really like that. And, let's talk about Yoda. I loved that scene.
did people not?
Well, some people, Yoda looked funny. He's like,
Yoda was. That's exactly how he looked when he died. So like, why would he suddenly get?
It was a pup.
Younger.
it was actually a puppet, which I apprecited.
Yeah.
Rather than, let's put more CGI splooge.
Or the super creepy puppet of episode 1.
Oh god.
So that puppet too.
Partially.
Originally it was, and then they remastered it with a CG version just
Okay,
because
gotcha.
that puppet was fucking frightening. Bash.
But anyway, no, so yeah, the scene with Yoda I thought was fucking phenomenal.
I loved it.
That's my favorite scenes in the movie.
He was just like, dude, you need to calm down.
No, it's not just that. It's again
then-
it ties into themes of the movies like, okay, we recognize everything that came before, we respect everything that came before, but we got to do something new.
Yeah.
Or we got to start taking things in a different direction. We're gonna like homage Empire, but don't copy it. Focus on the new characters, kind of say goodbye to the old ones, and just move on. And I really like that approach they took. I think the Yoda scene kind of wraps it all together. And again, it also comes with playing. It's not just playing with audience expectations, which could be criticism. It's more playing with audience expectations, but also with a purpose.
Yeah.
Like with Snoke's death, there's it defies expectation, but there's a reason why they did that. It's not just for shock value.
Yeah, honestly, setting up Adam Driver as the main villain now, which I think is dope.
Now he's like now he has no conflicts or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's not even. It's like it's just like uncontestable that like you should be the most afraid of.
Except for General Ginger, who's so fed up with him, and like especially towards the end, like fire everything on that man. Pew 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 pew. I think you got him.
I mean, he was wrong.
He was, but
like he wasn't even shooting him on the right planet.
yeah. But no, I thought what they did. I thought what could have been just a cheap callback actually did something really smart with it and really well done. And saying like, well, we had the old Jedi way, we had the old Jedi religion, but they didn't do anything, and we still failed anyway. So let's not just do what we did before. Let's do something different, or let's start from the ground up.
Yeah. Or let's let Rey just
let Rey figure it out herself.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It's like
yeah, she everything that the Jedi value. She's got it.
Yeah, it's like she's more than capable. She's naturally gifted, which is like, oh, but he barely trained her. It's like, she seems perfect. Like,
You were barely trained, Luke.
Yeah, seriously.
Up.
Yeah, but it took but to be fair, it also took him 3 movies before he was even fully competent.
true, but even then, like,
2 movies. He was fully competent when he fought Jabba.
that was 3 movies. Jabba was the Jabba.
But he entered movie 3 being fully competent. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, therefore it took the 3rd movie.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
Misunderstood.
Yeah, well, either way. So and that's Kirsten. Like, I get it, but at the same time, they also kind of explain the way, just Kylo Ren's natural counterbalance would eventually just rise up, and she is naturally gifted. Like, all right, whatever. It's space wizards. I'll go with it. Let's not overthink this too much, guys. At the end of the day, it's fucking space wizards with space swords.
Yeah.
That, like it or not, was originally designed for kids.
Yeah.
So take that with your fan theories and smoke it. I'm gonna gotta let a hate comments now. I'm just waiting for it.
Oh, we will.
How dare you?
How dare you have an opinion that's level-headed?
And even though you seem kind of more middle of the road about it, which I can perfectly give respect. But it's but it seems like, can't we just find something that's just kind of down the middle anymore? Why is it it's either greatest Star Wars movie of all time or it's terrible. It makes Jar Jar look like Qui-Gon. I don't know. Qui-Gon was a better character. Let's be fair.
Speaking of Jar Jar comparisons,
Do we want to talk about the Porgs?
You know what?
More on the topic of stuff that didn't need to be in that movie.
Yeah, but it's also it was pretty shameless about like,
Yeah.
this is only in there for the toys.
I mean,
we all know it.
We
Let's move on.
talked about it earlier, but I think they just could have done like a circle of threes kind of thing. Like Luke threw the lightsaber, the Porgs almost get themselves killed by lightsabers. Chewbacca almost eats the Porg.
That was a funny scene.
That was
Funny, but I was like, what was the point of all that?
God, well,
So he would have a connection in the circle of threes at the end when he shows up at the final battle with the battle screen Porg. And then there, circle of threes. You only needed it 3 times.
Yeah.
it's like
It was funny, but it's like...
I think they were not necessary at all. The movie didn't really hide the fact that it was just there to sell toys.
The only way that scene could have been better is if Chewie just like took a bite of the Porg
and then looked at stare and stay in the eye.
And it's just like, I'm hungry.
Shit.
You're not feeding me. And I don't want green space milk.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall, I still think, despite its flaws, it is a really good movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
And it does have 2 climaxes, but at the same time, it's one of the rare cases where like, oh, it's still going. And we're like, oh, cool, like we're at the good stuff now. I want to see more.
Yeah.
And especially when the red salt planet looks so gorgeous.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And again, by that point, I was laughing at myself. I feel like a story of like, oh, here's the happy ending. Oh no. And then felt like, oh, here it is. Oh Jesus. And like, okay, here we go. And finally, like, oh my God, there's like 3 of you left.
Yeah.
With speakers.
Okay.
You had a thought?
I did have a thought about the salt planet. You know how Finn put down his stabilizer thing late?
Yeah.
You guys all remember that episode of Archer when he put down the landing gears on the water with the seaplane and then it flipped the plane over?
Nope.
Oh yeah, I know what that one is. Yeah.
What season was that?
Season 3, Heart of Archiness. It's like right after.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. I don't remember that bit.
That's the one where they had Joe from Family Guy.
Yeah. But why didn't that happen to Finn?
Space cars.
But no, it's just like that vehicle was so decrepit that Poe put his foot through it.
Space cars, man.
I'm just saying. I don't understand the logic of that vehicle,
But, like,
whatever.
and here's the thing.
I can get over it though.
Okay. Like at the end of the day, even if you did not like this movie, which is perfectly fine, if you didn't like it, there's reason not to like it. I get it. To say it's worse than Jar Jar Binks or I don't like sand. It gets everywhere. Fuck you. Like fuck you
What the fuck
because
is that second part from?
The second
2.
episode.
It's like it's supposed to be a romantic scene with him and Queen and like Senator Almondana, and it's like I don't like sand. It gets everywhere. It's coarse and rough. Not like here though. Everything's so smooth. Word for word.
Wow.
A line in episode 2. So again, it boils.
That's the last time I saw episode 2. That's how long I haven't seen it.
That's what it comes down to. Like
Confused.
my reaction is basically that kid behind me in Star Wars. Like,
Eddie, you're breaking my heart.
ah! No. So no matter how much you do not like this movie, if you want to look me dead in the eye and say it's worse than any of that, fuck you. Like that's what it is on like this.
I have the higher ground, Anakin.
God, was that webcam comic? You can't win, Anakin! The elevation gives me +2 to my dexterity! Hacks!
Or like what was the poem I read, which is roses are red, Jedi robes are brown. Don't try it, Anakin. I have the high ground.
Oh, I thought it was going to be, don't watch this movie, you'll have a big frown.
No. I was going off episode 3 memes. But like, so that was the case of, I think a lot of the fan base is blowing this way out of proportion. And quite frankly, they need to pull their head out of their ass.
Yeah. I didn't really, like, I mean, we already talked about it, but basically the entire casino scene could have been like...
I
with a
completely
sentence.
agree with everyone else who said that was the low point of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that.
And, like, I don't know, are they trying to shoehorn this relationship with Finn and Rose?
A little.
A little bit. Like, again,
Because-
when people say that was the low point of the movie, I completely agree. But I think that what worked kind of salvaged all that.
Because I'm trying to wonder if, like, because I'm pretty sure Finn's into Rey. So are they trying to force a love triangle?
No, they're just good buddies.
No, like it was even in Force Awakens. It was kind of implied that they were just good buddies. At least towards the end.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, so you guys ain't got anything else you want to talk about?
I did have a couple nitpicks.
Okay.
Although one of them I think I have the answer for was, why was there no decompression in those spaceships when they opened up their bay doors and exposing themselves to space?
Force fields.
Space cars.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. I had assumed that after a while. I was like, the deflector shield's probably keeping it.
I mean, I was more just getting over da 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 da.
But yeah, also, I forgot to mention, when Poe went up against the fucking Dreadnought, literally the first thing I thought was the second Family Guy Star Wars special. Hey everybody, get ready to suck some dick!
Neither of us have seen that.
No,
I've seen it. I just don't remember it.
It was when the guy decided to go out to fight the entire Empire by himself, and they just like pew him.
Oh.
I was like, so yeah, why did nobody do that?
See, I mean,
Because
I understand that
General
for
Ginger wanted to monologue.
I understand for comedic thing. Also, that plan to like destroy one dreadnought when you're trying to escape, I felt like that's like, strategically speaking, it just wasn't sound to begin with.
Well, that's why Poe got on hot shit over it.
Yeah, getting over your own personal vanity.
But yeah, and one more thing I do want to bring up. I do say, like, although the girl took her sweet ass time finally doing it, warping through spaceship was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Even though, like, you and I were like thinking the same thing, like, you couldn't do that sooner? You were pretty determined to go down with the ship a few minutes ago.
Yeah. See, to even augment on the 10-second sentence to make it a 20-second sentence. Okay, here's the plan. We're gonna, use most of our fuel reserves to get as close to the planet and get everybody off, and then I'm gonna hyperspace the cruiser into them, and then, that'll buy you some time, or if not, destroy them completely.
Yeah.
That was a 20-second sentence.
You never run into Benicio del Toro, Captain Phasma would be fine.
Yeah.
A lot of shit would have happened.
They'd be trying it and it'd be like, yeah, okay.
So again, I guess what it really boils down to is is the rest of the movie good enough for you to overlook the plot holes? And if it can't, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fair.
Oh, sorry. One of the nitpick I was trying to get to.
Oh, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
How is it that Force stuff was still being able to be physically held 1 second and not the other?
Wait, what?
Okay, for example, it seemed like Leia and Luke, when they meet on that planet, were actually making physical contact and was even holding that Force die that should not have been held to begin with.
I just assumed it was...
Wait, no, because when Kylo picked up the Force die, it disappeared.
Yeah, because they were because it was Force.
I just assumed that because it's magical space magic, you can make it solidify sometimes when transparent when he wants to be. It's the fucking Force!
Yeah. As I said, nitpick. But still bug me, it's like...
That didn't really bug me because I think it's the Force. You can do with it whatever the fuck you want.
I mean, as soon as I saw the dice disappear from... Because if those stuck around, that would have pissed me off.
Yeah.
Because clearly, I just assumed it can use a magical space where he can make some things slip through whenever he damn well pleases.
He can just...
Space sword.
Well, I mean, it's also
with a magical space sword.
Yeah, it's telekinetic powers through the galaxy. I mean, he could probably, for a second, just, emulate to her brain that this is real for, this is a physical object for as long as I want you to hold it.
Fair enough.
Because they're space wizards! You never question when Gandalf can do something, he can just do it because he's a fucking wizard.
He did steal all the experience.
He did.
Asshole.
Dick.
Unless he's my wizard in my D&D campaign, which gets tries to draw dicks at me when I'm asleep. We have a douche wizard. But anyway, so any other points of contention or
Ray, what's her name? Daisy?
Daisy Ridley?
Yeah, she did great.
Oh yeah.
I loved the chemistry she had with Mark Hamill.
Oh, they were great.
They were great.
I can feel the Force!
It's like, yes, it's the Force. You feel that? Yes, I feel it.
I like that the fights, the fight choreography, at least between Kylo and Luke, felt more...
With the red ninjas?
No. Like Kylo and Luke on the planet. It
Right.
felt the showdown felt more like it's a samurai movie. Like it's
Yeah,
supposed
it
to.
reminded me a lot, and I know neither of you guys have seen this, but the last showdown between Obi-Wan and Darth Maul in Star Wars Rebels took a very similar approach. And it was just as good in my opinion.
Yeah, I still need to. I'm way behind in that series.
Yeah, it's
Never seen it. Anyway.
yeah, but they do that with that show, and it's very similar, very very similar.
But I mean, like the fight choreography in like 1, 2, and 3, it's like this flippy whatever.
It's still really fun to watch, but yeah, it doesn't feel like Star Wars.
And then in these movies, it's more calm. Like the strikes are more meaningful. You know,
Like I mean, like
some of it felt a little Kamen Rider in the throne room at least.
I like the throne room fights. I thought it was pretty good.
No, I mean, yeah, but it did feel a little bit like a Kamen Rider fight.
I don't know what that means.
Japanese Sentai show. Just think Power Rangers.
Gotcha. But at the same time, it's still really cool to watch.
It was the same kind of choreography that I felt that Daredevil did.
Okay, yeah, alright.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It felt like a Sentai show.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
Fair enough.
All they needed then was like every time someone slashed, there was that awkward dynamite explosion.
Fair enough. Again, you know more about that than I would. But, yeah, I still thought it was great. I can look past the...
It was
like
awesome.
It
was an awesome fight, especially the bit where she throws the
lightsaber.
and then he does the... does the...
And even though they're finding new ways to do action scenes in these movies now, which I also really appreciate.
Yeah.
It's not just block, slash. More like there's actually like they're throwing lightsabers at people. There's like fucking like laser whips and shit.
Yeah,
it's fun to watch. But yeah,
swords and shit and like
there's some variety.
Staffs that come apart to become.
So
knives.
like yeah, overall, I still really love the movie. It does have definite flaws. It probably won't be my top 10 list, but
yeah,
it's a Star Wars movie.
It outside of the casino stuff, there's nothing here I would say doesn't feel like Star Wars. Again, outside of the casino stuff, which I acknowledge is more prequels than more modern.
Yeah, wait, so the whole point of that was for Finn and Rose to suffer consequences of their actions and for them to pass on the ring for us to find the one stable boy that has force powers?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Destiny! The Force works in mysterious ways.
Shut the fuck up.
Do you guys even want to talk about trailers or you just want to...
Nah, I don't even remember what the hell I had.
Alright, go.
I had Battle Angel Alita, and I was like, whoa.
Those eyes freak me out.
They're anime eyes.
Yeah.
Still freaks me out though, feels off.
Some clips they work better than others.
Do you guys get the Ultimate Spider-Man trailer?
I didn't, but I got Jurassic World Part 2.
Bleh.
And I saw that, and I'm like... and the
you know
only
who's
part
directing that though, right?
Uh,
Director of A Monster Calls.
yeah, but the plus side still looks stupid.
Yeah.
And the only thing that made me more upset about the Jurassic World trailer was when they brought back the stupid hamster ball. Fucking hate that ride. Jimmy Fallon lied to me.
My thought is more along the lines of, you know, you could save all the animals, but they also want to eat us, and they could very easily. Why are we doing this?
It's like maybe they're just supposed to stay extinct.
Yeah, I know. But life, finds a way.
Yeah, it's like, they had their chance years ago, and
Nature selected them.
Nature selected them to die so hard that a comet or a volcano or whatever happened.
Dude, Transformers, man.
I didn't see the movie. I actually don't know.
that fucking movie.
Oh wait, did the Transformers come and kill the dinosaurs?
Yes!
Okay.
That was a plot point, was it 4?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Dragon Ball Super says that the god of destruction came to Earth and got annoyed with dinosaurs and killed them all. Whatever.
That was better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think that's all we got for this movie then. So, I think it's just Ferdinand. Then I gotta go see.
Good luck.
Bitch, you're coming with me. You got out of the last terrible animated movie.
Yeah.
You made poor Sarah watch The Star.
I did.
And she sat through both 50 Shades movies, God bless her.
I did really not want to see the star, so
That was the case where I didn't tell her what we were going to see, and then she hopped in the car and was like, we're going to see the star, aren't we? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Lock!
Here's some chloroform. What? Hey, woke up just in time for previews.
So yeah, watch the movie yourself if you haven't already. Form your own opinions. Think what you want. Just don't be a hater about it. So that's all we got. So see you guys for
Logically
later.
hate it.
Yeah.